when they cannot find jobs here, they can find jobs elsewhere.
All right, thank you. As I've told you, Mwesukwa Thompson, CEO, Triple Word Group. Now, if you look into this thing, the solution, we are a solution to a problem. What do I mean? There is unemployment, we are looking for employment. The only thing we are facing and the challenge we are facing, it is people lack information about labor sector, mainly like labor export. They are still doing labor export of what they hear on social media, of what they hear in rumors. I will start with example.
And that's why we've invited here. So
exactly.
That you can explain and give the right information.
Yes, they understand. Let me give you example. Before I was born, myself I born like in Nkobache. I had a dream to go in a plane. I go abroad and I work. Because they used to tell us stories that when you go to work abroad, if you still have enough energy, and I was a young, bold guy, I knew when I go there, we'll work here, and I get money, I came back and do some things. Now, but we used to hear stories that people who go abroad, they go to do nasty jobs. For example, they go them, then they make them mate with dogs. You know, those funny stories. They remove the organs. That is the chayo or the story that has been there. So up to now, because people, they don't want to come in a digital life, they are still in analog thinking that what they are saying those days, it is still happening. You know, even people still bring those things of slave trade. These days, there is no slave trade.
Okay, some people say it is
modern.
That's what they say. Yes.
And now that's what we normally say. That is opposition. You understand? You know, opposition, it's not what you see, political opposition. Opposition, it is inborn. You even oppose what is right because they have that feeling of not going with the majority. That's what I can explain to people. Now, youth, they are graduating. Like what I did when I graduated, there was no job. I went in war of Iraq. I was 21. Now I'm 36. But at least I can make things move. I'm a CEO of the company. I can, you know, pay my school fees because I went for another degree, postgraduate degree in industrial art because that's what I like. Now I'm paying school fees of my family. I'm helping people now, getting jobs. I'm paying school fees of the other people I find in reunions from my former schools. They have no school fees. It touches me because I also didn't have school fees. So I pay for them, you understand? So what we need as youth, they should look on a global side. We as Uganda, we don't have a capacity of providing enough employment for people who are graduating. As you said, the universities are now many.
Yes.
And we don't study the reality. You know, we still study the analog way. You understand? The teacher...
Because your uncle, who was the first graduate in the family, did social sciences,
yes,
that's what you want to also do.
Exactly.
Without little knowing that during his time, it was marketable.
It was marketable, but now... So what we need is to get the information, and like the way I've come here, if you hear me saying this, you can contact me. Because normally I'm a motivational speaker sometimes, you understand, to the youth from Western and whoever invites me, you understand. Now, if we get the right information, if we try to catch up digital way, the youth will know, when I'm done, let me first go look for a chair. Get the cap to come and start something here in Uganda. And that's when you can change your life. Me, professional, I'm a teacher, I'm a secondary teacher. But when I finished, I did not teach. I calculated the needs I want, and I saw the teaching cannot help me. I went for security guard in Iraq. I did it for 7 years. So I left Iraq, I went in Dubai for 4 years. That is 11 years, I did chair for 11 years. That's why now I get the motivation. I say, now, if someone helped me to go, can't I also join the race and do the same company and I help others? If you go in my village, it's millions of money coming in. Those people who looked at me and they fraud me every month, which people are not seeing.
Now, and that brings us to the issue of people being slaves to their qualification, that are called trained as a journalist.
Yeah.
A call trained as an engineer.
Yes.
A call trained as a doctor, and therefore that is what they are meant to do.
Yes.
You trained as a teacher,
yes,
but he did not stop you to go and work as a security guard,
yes,
and here you are.
Yes.
So let's look at this concept by young people of being slaves to their qualifications, being slaves to their papers. There are some say, me with a degree, how can I go and do such a job? So now let's look at that mentality, the mindset change.
All right, now this is what I'm talking of. That is analog thinking. But in digital thinking, you have to be flexible. If you go, like I happen to rent in Kabalagala, all those Muyenga houses you see, it is the houses of Nkuba Cheyo, who defied the odds. No matter what I studied, they went abroad and they did Cheyo. Whether cleaning toilets, whether cleaning a compound, whether picking trash. That's where they are, that's where I am. You understand? Mindset. I will relate it to mindset. Let's Ugandans change mindset. That it's not a must you do what you studied, because we don't have all those sectors that are going to support you. Let's change the mindset. Now, if you studied to be an engineer, if I studied to be a teacher, and I have failed to teach, let me go until get the money, I come and I start the school. Then I impact that knowledge, what I got from Cheyo, to my students. You understand? Concept, it should relate it on mindset. You understand? People, they should change their mindset, not stick on one thing. There we will get where we want to be. As I told you earlier, like when you go to West Africa, majority of the youth, they want to first go to Europe and work, then they come back, invest in their countries. You get the point? So that's where people should look, mainly the youth. We should not be thinking in that analog thinking. I'm meant to be a teacher, I have to die teaching.
Actually, after you've graduated, you want to go back home.
And you sit with your father
at the very secondary school.
You understand?
Where you really
then they see you that he graduated. No, that's not the way. Let's get exposed. Let's look for mentors. You understand? One of the problems that is killing us in Uganda, we don't want to look on mentors. You understand? Say, I want to be like him. I want to be like you. Then you go, the style he or she went. You reach where you want to be.
Now, let's get to still on the labor export agencies or companies or organizations. Is there some training you give to the people you take outside so that by the time they get there, they are well covered with the tasks they are going to meet?
Yes, definitely we give training. For the case of housemaids, we give them 1 to 7 days. And as I say, that's the first training. Then there is what we call ongoing training. As you're doing processes, every time you come to the company, you see how things are moving. They're telling you, you must do this, you must learn this, now you must prepare yourself like this. Then there is the last one, pre-departure training. We talked about it, that you have to prepare a person. They board the plane like this. When you reach in the plane, you take yourself as a corporate, don't misbehave. You understand? When you reach in other international airports, behave like this, don't do this. You understand? When you're lost, ask, because asking abroad is actually regarded as one of the wise decisions, you understand? Other than getting lost and you end up paying millions of money to continue your flight, you understand? So they do get training. They do get training.
Now let's get the issue of language, because Uganda is an Anglophone country, and some of these countries actually, where you take people, it is Arabic, and perhaps even the organizations and places they go to work, you'll find that no one even could be speaking English. So let's look at the issue of language. And, do you give them some kind of tips on how to communicate, on how perhaps to do, on how to communicate so that they can get their way through once they are outside?
Okay, thank you. Now, you see, the language is not a problem, because much of the countries we're exporting this labor, they are also not good at English, like Arab countries. Now, what we need somebody who knows a basic English. Even to the West, even if you don't know basic English, you can use signage language, you understand? You learn Arabic like the way we learn English. We are not born speaking English. But now, these people, when they reach, even if you don't know English, you'll find other families that they don't know English. Local families, and you will learn Arabic. As when I was coming, I came with a notebook that has translation of small English, even yes, and
basic Arabic.
Basic Arabic, yes. And we even went ahead. We are going to put it in even local languages. Like you find, you have 3 columns: English, Arabic, Ruchiga, Ruganda. You understand? To help these, because these projects, they are not discriminating, whether you're educated, whether you're not educated. So we are trying to make it that way. But like when it started, people never wanted to go. Now these people who are not educated, for them they went. Now they have another added language, Arabic, and they are most favorite that side. Compared to people who are speaking too much English, they call it Lugezigezi. You understand? In Dubai, if you're going for security, they only want senior 6. Even if you're doing interview, then they know you're having degrees and masters. That one can make you disqualified because they know you bring the Indians. They call it giri-giri. You understand?
Yeah, you give them headache.
Headache. You understand? Yeah. So that's why I'm saying we have to change the mindset.
Yeah.
Leave the books you studied.
Don't guess the level of your qualification.
Just think that if this one's failed, I can do this. After, then I can go back in my qualification. You understand? There are things we move. So language is not a problem. We will welcome everyone, whether you're speaking small English, as long as you can speak that small English. Is, was, go, me, no, want. That's what the English they speak in Saudi Arabia and Dubai.
Now, other than looking at jobs for house girls, maids, maybe even shopkeepers, what efforts are you putting in place, measures, that perhaps you can also get people jobs that actually raise their level of education? For example, if one is a teacher, because if one is an English teacher,
yes,
could he easily get a school there where they can teach English? If one is a mathematics teacher, if a chemistry, if one is a doctor, if one is a nurse, you also have that kind of arrangement, so that we don't only see people going for jobs that are actually dehumanizing, that they look at as some kind of underemployment.
Actually, now where there is no unemployment, even here. If you're a degree holder, you're teaching in secondary school and you know how much they give them, you understand? It is all the same, but the best way when you're on chair, at least you learn how to save. Because when you work money, you don't have that luxury that you're going to go to the bar, you take 2-3 beers, you understand? Because they don't allow you drinking when you're at chair most of the times, you understand? Now, the other jobs are there. We call them skilled jobs and unskilled jobs. The other jobs are there. But the problem with Ugandans, as I've said, they don't want to change the mindset. Now, you see, much of the time is spent by youth on social media, just seeing videos, writing what I can term as unnecessary content. You understand? But when you go to America, like we had chance and worked with Americans, Germans, and France, people from France, everywhere, all over the world, because in Iraq there was everyone, you understand? An American is having a job, is not contented, is using this job to get another job. Which is not here. People are over-contented.
Here we're in a comfort zone.
You have said it. We are in a comfort zone. That we don't, if you have a job here, it is giving $1 million, you see the heaven is yours. But how about people who are working on chair, they're getting 20 millions, 15 millions, you understand? So the only thing I want to express here that other jobs are there, but the government has not given us enough support. This labor externalization, you see, it is a private sector. Now, wherever it is, wherever the remit it is bringing, it is the energy of private people, you understand? Now, what we request is the government to come in. It should be actually the government going countries to countries, looking for the jobs. When they sign the contract, then they hand over to labor export companies to do the process, you understand? But if you have seen, if the government did not sign this labor bilateral agreement with Saudi Arabia, supply 50,000 housemaids for in 3 years, these girls will not be going. Now we'll be having too much population.
Unemployed
and too much employment because they will produce, they will be unemployed, you understand? So then the government also focus the same way they did this bilateral with Saudi Arabia. Let them do it, they do it with Qatar. Let them go, they do it with any other country. Let them go, move around. We can have a team of moving around, looking for such opportunities through our consulates and embassies, you understand? Then they bring it. But you know, we have a problem in Uganda. Things don't want to go straight, you understand? But other countries like Philippines, they are looking where there is opportunities.
For their people.
Other countries like Nigeria. Recently we were on a certain TV and there was a guy who said that if you go to a country and you don't find a Nigerian, you better pack your things, you go, you look another country.
Know that they are everywhere.
So they are everywhere, and that's why they are regarded the most wisest people in Africa. They are Nigerians. Now these days they added Ugandans because we have tried on our own. Me, by the time when I was ongoing chair, it was not help of the government. It was not help of my family. It was an individual help, and I could go in the ministry. I get an individual clearance allow me to pass through the airport. You understand? So in other words, for Nigerians are a sign of wealth wherever they are. That's why they are even far developed compared to us.
Well, of course, you've talked about really government coming up. Of course, one of the issues that is that they already signed an MOU with Saudi Arabia for supplying
the housemaids.
We pray that also in other sectors it will follow suit, yes, so that we can see our unemployed youth, our unemployed graduates actually getting jobs. But now let's look at, of course, the cost involved. Because some are saying, look here, when somebody is fresh from university, they may not get support from their parents, from
yes,
their guardians to go out. So how easy is it, or how have you made it affordable for these fresh graduates without jobs, without any source of income, to actually go and work out?
All right, thank you. Now, you see, as I said, the government has not given us support in this. And if the government was giving us support in this, we would be very far. There will be low rates of unemployment. Now, we've talked to the government, we have engaged with the government several times. They can give us loans to the companies and give us more security and more standard procedures. That when these graduates finish, they can take up those loans, they go to jail, they work, they repay. So it keeps recycling and taking people. Actually,
just like they've come up with a loan scheme for those going to universities.
Exactly.
Maybe
they should do labor scheme too. Maybe that kind of sort.
Labor scheme loan.
Yes. Then you rest assured that this person is going to work. As long as there is good arrangement, good procedures, they go, they work, and the money gets paid. Takes another person. At the end of the day, if the government invests, let's say 1 trillion, after rotation, that 1 trillion will keep getting jobs for the youth of the country. This is why I say that the government has not put much focus on fighting unemployment. And when we try individually, again, we get complications, you understand? We have demanded several times we can make a one-stop center for employment. You find like we have a big space, like the way you see where the driving, we're getting driving permits. You find you can register here, you can come and choose the company you want to go, do Interpol, get passport, then you go to the company, they like to start more processes. Now, you have to struggle to get the passport. You have to struggle to get the Interpol. You have to struggle to get anything that is involved. You understand? And yet, we are trying to help the government to sort out this unemployment.
Yeah, so, but also this comes, yes, you're helping the government, but the other issue is the risks involved are equally very high, because like for example, the people who are going outside there are not going to work, but they're equally ambassadors of Uganda. They have to portray the good image, the good name of Uganda. So let's look at the recruitment process. Do you pay attention to such details that this person we are taking, who is he? Is a person of sound mind? Is he actually going to do the right thing? Isn't he a thief? Didn't they have any kind of criminal record behind them?
Now, before, we were getting letters from LC1s. Now they changed. The people are no longer getting those letters. You send the data, then they verify. Now, as I said earlier, we have a problem with our coordination. Sectors in Uganda, they don't coordinate. You understand? So we eventually taking some wrong people.
Unknowingly.
Unknowingly. That's the reality. Because somebody will come and apply, has a passport. That period, he or she takes himself or herself to be a good person. But their intention is to board the plane.
Yeah, because we've also seen situations where people are actually selling property that is not theirs, like family land, it doesn't belong to them, just because they want to go out. And at times, even when they come back, they don't even bother to replace it.
Yes, it happens. So what we need here to look at is the whole coordination. Cheyo is there, you'll never stop Cheyo. That's migration. People have to move from one place to another, looking for either better chances or better options. That's what we mean by Cheyo. Now, we labor sectors, we have put it on international level. Now they are leaving country to another country. But before, we left from villages and we came to Kampala. It is also Cheyo. Only that we have put it on another level. So now we need to look how we can coordinate, take the right people, you understand? And since you have said it, we portray the image as Ugandans. So government should go ahead and look other skilled jobs. Put the procedures. Even in screening, we take the right people and we get good fruits out of them. You understand? Not like if the government signed the bilateral, okay, we have got jobs for Ugandans, and they stop there. No, even in investigating, they should be putting adverts sponsored by the government or Ministry of Gender, advertising about the jobs.
And one would also be, would want to know to what extent have you evolved government? To what extent have you sat down with the relevant government agencies, government departments, so that you can work together in executing this?
No, we do, and several times we have said it. We have called upon the government. Let me give you an example. Recently, you saw the battle when COVID hit the second wave, you understand? At Internal Affairs, where we get passports. Internal Affairs was getting, because we could export 15,000 Ugandans. Now, to get a passport, ordinary is 250, express is 400. Because of poor services, equally, we are paying express, but still takes the same days for an ordinary one, understand? How much money is that monthly the Internal Affairs was getting? But they were choosing that labor export company that they wanted bringing too many people. Instead of acting swiftly, you plan for this money, revenue, you understand? You get, but good enough, they listened and they opened up a branch in Chambugo where we are getting revenue. That's now the receiving point. That's what we want, not opposing. You remember I told you, an opposer can always even oppose something they see
in other words, the government should always be on top of the game.
Yes,
once the demand increases, they should put in place a machinery that would help.
Yes, on that demand.
To handle the
demand. They are
demand.
working this money. It is this money that goes to revenue that makes roads. It is this money that goes to revenue that pays public services. So now, when you see people are against the labor export, sometimes I wonder. Then you see that we still have a mileage to cope up with digital thinking. You understand? And get exposed. No one that doesn't benefit on labor export. Every sector.
Yes, as you're saying, of course, as they send back the money home to their parents, it's the very money that their parents use to up their purchasing capital.
Every sector, whether you're buying food, that is agriculture, where you want to dig, transportation, schools, general merchandise, real estate, you know, even these things, other things they exported people, when you go up your money, you don't want to move on foot again. You have to buy a car.
Yeah, and,
you understand?
And everything they are buying, they are paying taxes indirectly.
Exactly, indirectly, and even spending physical money. You get the point. So we should embrace this. We should now change. Now, if I come here as an individual and talk about change, what would you think if the government has those programs like the ministry that is responsible for labor export, Ministry of Gender,
Labor and Social Development,
these programs, you understand? Teaching about people now, even showing them the right companies, you understand? We will not be regarded as human traffickers. Still,
or body organ traffickers.
You understand? Because people have no information. Even if you have a license, people will think now you're like in those people. Abakukusa, we call it okukusa. You understand? But if ministry comes every time and displays the list, ranks the companies that are doing well, like you see how the hotel has advanced. If you go on booking.com, you're looking for a hotel, you start from 6 stars to 7 stars to down. You understand?
Up to the lowest.
You understand? Yeah. Now you select according to your capability, which the government is not doing, which the ministry is not doing. Now that's why I'm saying that we need digital again to shift from analog way. That was analog way. They don't want even people to hear about Cheyo. They are even fearing to talk about it. But now it has emerged. It has swept Uganda. Everyone is saying, I have to go abroad, I have to go abroad, I have to go abroad. Now, come up with a strategy how to now, to people to understand Cheyo, people to understand the right Cheyo. I've told you, Ministry of Gender should be having a center where people can go and search about jobs, online jobs, and apply. They should be having people there who are guiding them. There is a lot of global companies which have jobs. I've been, the last job of mine, I was in Dubai. But you're working with Tanzanians, you're working with Kenyans, you're working with Nigerians, because they go online. People who went there
and look for jobs.
Yes, people who went there, they connect others. You understand? Which is not here. They say the ministry is looking at waiting. Whatever happened, then they call you. Now why this? You understand? They should be supporting us. Instead of waiting, like now individual companies where they want to advertise about the jobs, it should be the ministry first. When you want jobs, when you feel like you cannot get a job here in Uganda, go, do Cheyo. But these are the companies that are genuine, you understand? Now there, people publicly will be seeing that these are the companies. Because some people have not heard of Triple One Group because they don't have capacity to advertise on every TV. But the government has the capacity and we are paying taxes.
Dear viewer, you're still on UBC TV, where we are looking at issues of education. And this time round is we are looking at unemployment and how the external labor agencies are really helping in the fight against unemployment, in reducing unemployment among the young people. Now back to Thompson, because these are very, very interesting things.
Yes.
So that in some countries, I'm told that actually people who go out for jobs, whether privately or whether organized by government, they undergo a 1 week or 1 month patriotism course. So that when they go out, that they know that they have a heavy duty of being ambassadors for their country. And as far as I'm concerned, no labor agency, external labor company is doing that. Don't you think it's the right time you teamed up with the government so that before these people go, they should actually, first of all, understand their country, appreciate where it is, so that they know that when they are going there, they are going to market, they are going to be ambassadors of their country?
I will not say because I've moved. I haven't had that one. That one might be not true. I've been in Nigeria, I've been in Ghana. I haven't had that they give them patriotic
training. Yes,
because here we have seen it in politics.
No. Well, but patriotism training is not necessarily political. That it is partisan, but appreciating your country.
And that's what I'm saying. But here, example of it is in politics. I've seen it. Some political parties, they are doing it. You understand? People to understand their party, people to understand their country.
Yes.
Now, related to labor, we basically base much on training
skills.
No, not skills actually. Normal training, because you have gone to work as an engineer or a housemaid. you only need to know is the culture, the other side.
And that is the interpersonal skills.
Yeah, that is the personal skills. But now patriotic goes to really understand and how to showcase, to protect the image of your country.
Yes.
We have tried in this first training I told you, where we introduce people about change. They know what they're going to do. We do tell them how they should behave. I talked about it. How they should behave as Ugandans. You understand? How they should portray the picture of Ugandans. Right now, Ugandans are the ones who is ranked like hard-working housemaids in Gulf countries because of the training we give them. You understand? So that one, in a patriotic way, we are trying to do it. But look, now, that one again should be being impacted by the government. You understand? For example, they are the ones who are in these training centers. They should be having a trainer for that specific training or lesson, like 1 day or 2 days. They keep moving in these training centers. They talk about how they want the country to be reflected. You understand? Because for us, we will be basing on she is going to do this job, he's going to do this job. They must know the job. They must know the culture. They must know time management. You understand? They must know how to behave well. You understand? So like we are overwhelmed of things, of what to do to prepare government people without government support. Because when we're starting these companies, you have to struggle to look for these millions, to put them on account as on your account as a guarantee
that you can handle the task.
Then you can handle the task. Yeah. Now, after all this remittance we are bringing in the country, why can't the government also come in as a government also to help us in this, not put something in our front and you leave us? It is simple. What you have said, they can have their lectures. They know the training centers that exist. Connect them with Ministry of Labor. We have every lecture in this training center to teach that. So, like as I said, we are being overwhelmed by the responsibilities, even the responsibility that should be done by the government. For example, I told you, why is the ministry not advertising about labor export as a ministry that gives us license? And they know we're really giving the jobs. You understand? And some companies we are genuine. Why is the ministry not lobbying for labor schemes, as we said, so as we can give these youths who have graduated,
who have no money,
when they go, we take the responsibility to get this money back. It takes another one. So that money is needed once you allocate it into labor export licenses. You understand? Put procedures like the way they created this one.
The loan scheme for universities.
Yeah, like even this one, you understand? And we also be helped that way, and they help the Ugandans. So, you see, again, it comes back to the government. You have licensed me. Instead of supporting me, you're just waiting me where I do a mistake. Where there is, you have seen these days that migration was complaining that people, when we take them, they take their passports. But these people, they have put their money to take this Ugandan who is poor. They don't have any guarantee.
So
they don't have any security.
The only security is the passport.
You give the passport to work 2 years, go back home. Now my question is, I've already told people on social media and everywhere, why are you minding much about the passport, yet you're going to stay here 2 years? It brings the question, these are the people I told you, we take them who are wrongdoers, who go with other missions. They want passport to run away.
In other words, the passport
is the guarantee, the only guarantee.
Because they've facilitated your coming.
Yes.
Therefore, not until you've worked for the period they want, then that's when they can give you back your passport.
And look, you're going to work in a factory for 2 years. The only guarantee they want, hand over your passport.
So that,
and they give you a resident ID, which can make you move anywhere. Why are you focusing on the passport? It means there is a hidden agenda.
No. Some say that actually when their passports are withheld, it becomes hard for them to send money back to their relatives.
No. That is propaganda. No any person that is abroad that is not sending money. People are sending money. Mostly, some of the contracts like housemaid, they cannot allow you to work freely because you not come back. They know Ugandans, they know Africans, you understand? They do go with them, they send the money. If they're not sending the money, where is all this money coming? The remittance we're talking of. The other day we were estimated at $600 million US per year that are coming into the country. That is trillions of money. But that is opposition in diaspora. If you have taken an opposition who have not even been appreciating whatever is going on, you understand? Who is not even appreciating the money the employer put in him or her. What do you expect to say? You understand? What do you expect him to say? They will say that they get difficulties in sending money. No any person that is employing you and will not allow you to send money.
Well,
you will send the money.
I can see time is not our best ally, but let's look at now the way forward. How do we streamline external labor agencies, recruitment? Yes. How do we streamline it so that it can work well for the Ugandan, it can work well for government, it can also work well for those who are in the trade?
Thank you. To my suggestion, I would request the government to intervene and help us.
How should it intervene and how should it
Number one, the government should look on labor scheme loans, you understand? And give them to the companies. And publish it, advertise it so as the youth, the graduates, they can know.
They can come and apply.
Yes, we have a scheme in labor licensed companies. They use that chance. Secondly, they should supervise these companies. And when a company is performing well, can be ranked, you understand? This will reduce human trafficking. Thirdly, the government should also help in spreading information. And mainly like the Minister of Gender. You are responsible for employment and other things. But I've never seen any advertisement concerning with any job or how people can get, like the way Minister of Health does. You understand? If there is something, they put announcements, they put adverts, so people can learn how they can safeguard themselves. But here in this sector, it is not there. So the government should come in after, providing like labor loan schemes. They supervise, they advertise, they teach. You understand? About safe labor migration. And also, like as you said, if you want to portray Uganda positive,
yes,
the government and the people themselves, they should practice that. You understand? If you want to go abroad and you go, you work. If you're a teacher, you come, you start a school. You have to go, you work without that opposing heart. You understand? As I said, with the only labor sector, we are the only sectors among the sectors. We take all political parties, we take all religions with their behavior.
In other words, what you're interested in is a Ugandan.
A Ugandan.
Irrespective of their religion, political affiliation, color,
exactly.
tribe.
That's why I say government should come and support this cause. It is a common cause. And that's why, again, they will be bringing those initiatives. For example, teach people about patriotism, how they should portray the image of the country. There, the government would have done something to improve the sector. Another thing which I suggest the government can do, let the for example, like foreign affairs, let them do the job. For example, we send girls. We have an embassy in Riyadh. They should put enough people to tackle these issues.
In the embassy.
In the other side, you understand? We are here. Something happens.
But one would also want to know that when you take the girls, when you take the boys that side, people you take there, Ugandans, do you also introduce them to the embassies? Do you also notify the embassy that we've so far brought in such a...
Now,
do you have that list at the embassies? So the embassies also, you make their work easier.
The embassy is part of the system. Because I told you those countries, for them, they are already advanced. The system where they approve these girls, they have it. So they are monitoring. The only thing that is lacking is lack of coordination. See, for example, it should be the Minister of Gender tapping all the data from the airport and feeding it either in an app. Okay, they started one, and the embassy should be seeing. Today, 1,000 housemaids have come.
Or go in the security office.
Security boys have gone, you understand? But because we have that reluctance, and you know that we're still lagging in analog, we need to get apps, we need to get softwares, you understand? Like in my company, I have a system. If I open here, a person they have registered, I'm seeing. A girl who has got a problem, I just go in the system. I know which village, next of kin, everything. Immediately I can react. Which some ministries, they're not minding about advancing, you understand? And it ends up costing us. And yet, we have seen this is another way how the government can get the remittance, where everyone is going to benefit, as I've told you. All sectors. There is no any sector that doesn't benefit on labor export. So the government should come up and, you know, push us. As I said, they should go look ahead. They should go in those host countries. They talk business. We have some investors who can go there and put accommodations, put a company that will be transferring maids to house they work. In evening, they take them back. If those people are working transnight, they take another person who is going to work a night shift. Like the way it is done in Dubai. You see how much money Philippines is getting from people who are working in Dubai, Pakistan, Indians, Bangladesh. For us, we are here crying every day. But in Saudi Arabia, there is housemaids from Sri Lanka, Philippines, Bangladesh, Burundians. For us here, we are crying. That's why when they say, okay, they say, we have stopped. But for them, they keep getting the service. My question is, the other days you saw, now our stakeholders was arresting the directors of companies. That is human corruption sector. Because one has sent a picture on social media, even lying, that I'm not sleeping well, now I'm sleeping in a toilet. This is a selfie. Do you understand? They send. The next day, they arrest you. How about 1,000 and 1,000 again who are there? You see, that is lack of cooperation.
No, but also in this particular case, every life matters. So if that one person, because they say when one finger catches soil, soil is the rest. So it is always very important that from that, investigations can begin.
And investigations can begin, but there is no need of arresting. You understand? If you arrest me, you take away the phones, because now we were a bit advanced. Everything we're working it from our phones and internet. How are you going to investigate? How are you even going to go ahead with the matter? That is the cooperation and coordination I was talking of. We need to. You come to the office, ask, do you know this guy?
Now let's
or do you know this person?
Let's get into the agencies that are involved in a labor export. Do you have like an association where, like, perhaps you can correct yourselves in case there is one agency that is actually discrediting your work? Have you also put up mechanisms of how you can bring them to order?
We have tried. I've told you we have that UELA, Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies. But as I've said, as long as you don't have coordination and respect, in Uganda things will not move. You understand? We created that association because people can know. The other time before COVID, we had an export Kororo, so as people can come and see these registered companies and licensed. You get the point? But the problem is, now you've seen these days, media was, the government tried to streamline it. The other day they were even talking about the president, you understand, that is dead. You understand? It is the same thing. A person, because when you're abroad, like we who did Che, sometimes you get homesick.
You want to come back home.
You want to come back home. Sometimes now these girls, they get boyfriends. Because now they have worked money, they have bought smartphones, they are exchanging, stories. And now, when time comes to go home, if like you have a homesick, you don't want to know, you will lie anything to get a favor. So in streamlining this, it is not all about arresting, intimidating the labor companies. It's all about investigating the matter. Once you know that these social media, they are lying, you understand? Come up and tell the people what you found out. My question is, you have been seeing people lying and several people crying, but once you go at the airport and you see that person who has been crying and is coming back, you ask yourself, they are healthy, they are okay.
They have come back with money.
Money. The only thing is they got homesick, they connected with boyfriends, the boyfriend also they have came from abroad or somewhere. Now they want to meet. They will put every situation to come back.
Well, I beg that you look into the camera and tell the viewer, yes, your final word in as far as the labor export agencies and how they should actually work with the education sector in reducing unemployment in Uganda among the young people.
Thank you. I will tell all the viewers that now this is the time to embrace the labor export. It's all about getting information. Our ministry is there, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, behind close to City Square, behind CPS. You can go, you get all information. You can come to all registered companies, including 111 Group Uganda Limited. As I said, we are found at Wakaniga opposite Veterans Market. You ask information. Cheyo is there to stay because it's a solution to a problem. Cheyo is there to stay because it has helped many. So we should not always look at on the negative side. And I request every Ugandan, go, move. Look for the information. If you weigh and you see it is the best option, you go to change. Change that mindset, which is telling you, I'm a teacher, I have to teach. My grandfather used to tell me, but you're a teacher, why can't you go to this secondary school and you teach? But you want this and this, so you weigh. If you see Cheyo is better, decide and go. If you see here in Uganda where you are, you work. But there is nowhere where there is no suffering. Here we are working, we are suffering. Abroad people, they are working, they are suffering. But now, the matter is the degree of suffering. When you suffer, you're earning in millions. It's just a period of time. 2 years, your contract is done. You come back here in Uganda, you become an investor.
Well, thank you very much, Mwesigwa Thompson, the CEO, Triple World Group, for really making it to the studio and sharing with the viewer on how important it is for government to streamline external labor activities so that more and more unemployed youth, especially those who are out of university, can also be given opportunity to travel abroad, especially coming up with a fund that can actually help them to maybe go out their work and then pay back later. Manda Kwela Mazima is my name, saying bye.
Welcome to Coffee Production Tips, brought to you by Uganda Coffee Development Authority. Uganda Coffee Development Authority is the government agency mandated to promote and oversee the coffee industry as a whole by developing research, facilitating coffee production and productivity, by training farmers on good agricultural practices, controlling the quality and improving the marketing of coffee for the benefit of stakeholders. In this series, a trained farmer, Mr. Wally Christopher, gives tips and demonstrates digging the hole, planting coffee seedlings, mulching, training coffee seedlings, and stamping coffee.
This is about 1 month or 2 months after digging the hole would have settled. We always test the softness of the soil with a forefinger like this one. When it goes like this, it means there's what? Moisture. When it is hard, you may do another shower. But we have received 2 showers and we are going to plant. The pot is equivalent to our palm like this one. So you just dig it with your palm like this. You can use a small hole. But if it is soft, you just use what? Until the palm is like this, and then we put the plant there. You maintain The slope, you maintain the slope, then you harden like this. So even if too much rain comes, it will just go this way. It will not enter to make the roots unhappy. You harden, you put some water, and may also burst like this.